Newsfirst at 9. Headlines.
A very good evening and welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Katharina Chang. Let's take a look at your headlines. The British government has secured the support of all of the EU for the resolution on Sri Lanka at the UNHRC. A statement from Prime Minister David Cameron. Chief prelates of the Asgari and Mawata chapters request the President to keep them informed on the resolution in Geneva. A statement from Minister S.V. Dissanayake on the former President.
මතවත් ජනාධිපතිතුමාට මේ ආණ්ඩුවටත් මේ ගැන මොකවත් හොයන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. අපිට දුක් වෙන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ.
Newsfirst Eslonda Nimutusana commences in Jaffna. Toilet pits near the entrance of the Gargamo Divisional Education Office. Details on Action TV. European observers head to Ukraine. Let's now cross over to the main news desk for details of these stories and much more.
Thank you, Katrina, for those headlines. A very good evening and welcome. This is Weekend Primetime News here on MTVsports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Irukal Pandala. Without further ado, let's start off with a look at your top stories. UK Prime Minister David Cameron says that he has secured the full backing of the European Union for a resolution on Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council. Cameron made this statement at a press conference held at the European Council yesterday.
I also raised the situation in Sri Lanka. As you know, this is an issue I care deeply about. I want to see reconciliation in the country, and that means properly addressing issues of the past. President Rajapaksa has failed to do this, so now we need an international, independent investigation into alleged war crimes. The UN Human Rights Commissioner has called for this, and that is what a UK co-sponsored resolution at the UN Human Rights Council supports. Countries will vote on that resolution next week, and today I secured the full backing of all of the European Union for that approach.
Meanwhile, the US State Department says that it has received reports that additional human rights groups in Sri Lanka are being targeted for investigations by security forces. In a statement published on the State Department's official website, spokesperson Jen Psaki said that the US is especially concerned by the detention of well-known human rights defenders Ricky Fernando and Father Praveen Mahesan after they made inquiries regarding the arrest of another activist. She adds, quote, "It is disturbing that the government of Sri Lanka has taken punitive measures against its own brave citizens who have devoted their careers and lives to investigating alleged human rights abuses by both sides during Sri Lanka's long and brutal civil conflict," unquote. As such, the statement reads that the US, together with international partners, continues to pursue a resolution on Sri Lanka at the UN Human Rights Council due to the US's support for the Sri Lankan people and strong concerns about the deteriorating human rights situation in Sri Lanka.
Now, journalists questioned Minister Maithripala Sirisena today on the statements made by British Prime Minister David Cameron during a media briefing held in Colombo today.
These allegations are completely false. We have implemented many recommendations of the LLRC report. Some are being implemented. These statements are being made deliberately based on false information. Some people in the country and some people in the TNA go overseas and make such false statements. We cannot stop it because we are a democratic country. Everyone in the country knows the true situation. Everyone knows that there is a peaceful atmosphere and that there is reconciliation.
Now, a search operation was launched in the Watukote area in Jaffna today.
According to Army Media spokesperson Brigadier Ruan Wanigasuria, the search operation was launched based on a tip-off received that several wanted suspects had sought refuge in the area. The spokesperson noted that nearly 100 individuals and homes were subject to search, adding that no arrests were made. Meanwhile, the photographs of two suspects wanted for investigations by the Terrorist Investigations Division was released to the media today. According to the police, a cash prize of 1 million rupees will be given to any individual who could provide correct information on the two suspects. The police assure that the information received by them would be confidential and that they would protect the identity of the informant.
The Mahanayakatheros of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters of the Siam sect have called on President Mahinda Rajapaksa to inform them about the situation in Geneva. The Mahanayakatheros had made this request in a letter addressed to the President.
The letter had been written by the chief prelate of the Askiri chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Udugama Sri Buddha Rakita Mahanayakathero, and the chief prelate of the Malwata chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Tibbutawave Sri Sumangala Mahanayakathero. The Mahanayaka Theros noted that a decision to present a resolution on Sri Lanka before the Human Rights Council in Geneva is an attempt to pull the country down. They call on the President to inform them on the difference in opinions that exist in the country with regard to this issue. In their letter, the Mahanayaka Theros call on the President to make the necessary arrangements for Ministers G.L. Piris and Mahinda Samarasinghe to have a special discussion on the issue with them. The most venerable Theros have noted that the 24th or the 26th of this month would be most ideal for this discussion.
On our developing story tonight, international monitors will be sent to Ukraine after Russian diplomats dropped their objections. EU security organization, the OSCE, will send advanced teams within 24 hours to areas including the violence-hit southeast. But the 100-strong monitoring team is not expected to go to Crimea, which was taken over by Russia last month.
Russian leader Vladimir Putin signed a law formalizing Crimea's annexation yesterday, despite EU and US sanctions. The 57-member Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe reached a deal last evening. The Vienna-based group said that initially 100 civilian observers would deploy for 6 months in 9 regions of Ukraine. Up to 400 extra personnel could be deployed if necessary. Military transitions were underway yesterday across Crimea after Russia formally incorporated the Black Sea Peninsula. The takeovers included bases across the peninsula, including a naval base in the capital Simferopol. Yesterday at the naval zone, the Russian national flag was raised amid scenes of Ukrainian soldiers departing on their trucks. However, some Ukrainian soldiers stationed in Crimea are still awaiting orders from their superiors in Kiev, with the withdrawal process still incomplete as last evening's deadline passed. Russia and Ukraine had earlier agreed for Ukrainian troops to be allowed to stay in Crimea until 9 p.m. yesterday. Pro-Russian armed men have already seized control of the Belbek airbase and hoisted Russian flags, but no conflicts had broken out with the Ukrainian garrison kilometers away. The mood, however, remains tense.
To another story that we have been following closely at the Newsfirst International Desk. The search for the missing Malaysian Airlines plane has now entered its 3rd week, with rescue teams covering remote seas in the Indian Ocean. Satellites detected debris earlier this week, 2,500 kilometers southwest of Perth in Australia, but planes have so far failed to find the objects. Meanwhile, in the latest developments today, Chinese authorities have reportedly received satellite images of debris purportedly from the missing Boeing 777-200ER.
Flight MH370 dropped out of contact an hour after leaving Kuala Lumpur for Beijing on the 8th of March, carrying 239 people. Malaysian officials suspect the plane was deliberately taken off course. Britain's The Telegraph published a transcript of communications between the pilots and Malaysian Air Control, although it appeared to throw little light on the reasons for the disappearance. As teams scour the southern Indian Ocean, Australian authorities remain cautious about whether the debris spotted via satellite are actually remnants of the missing flight.
Well, there is a lot of ocean debris floating around the globe continuously, and containers do fall off ships, and so there are any other number of potential explanations as to what these items actually are. Those who've done the technical analysis believe that they're of interest in relation to this disappearance, and even though this is not a definite lead, it is probably more solid than any other lead around the world, and that's why so much effort and interest is being put into this search.
The search in the Indian Ocean is being led by the Australian Maritime Safety Authority. It dispatched 6 planes to the area today to search an area roughly the size of Denmark. Additional vessels supplied by China, Japan and the United Kingdom are due to join them in the search. India too has joined in the search.
We are giving all cooperation as requested by Malaysia. We can only do that much. We have deployed our naval ships and aircraft. Whatever has happened, how it happened is rather strange. We are extending full cooperation.
Following several false starts, the Malaysian authorities too are playing this one close to the chest.
I'm still quite concerned that it's been 2 days and yet the satellite images have not come out with the debris. I mean, the searchers have not come out with the debris from the satellite images. My biggest concern is that if we are not able to identify the debris, having to go back to the two corridors is a huge and massive area.
In spite of the numerous U-turns that investigators have had to make, the seemingly fruitless search continues in earnest.
Well, speaking at an event held in Gelio Peradeniya today, Minister of Higher Education S.B. Dissanayake expressed these views on the former president.
Our former president, Her Excellency Madam Chandrika, is taking a nice rest. That is good. It will be very good if she goes to the temple and observes Sil and carries out good deeds at this time. But unfortunately for her, or maybe it is to do with someone else's fortunes, I think she is now trying to contest a Pradeshya Sabha election. I think she is enthusiastic to get into the Athanagala Pradeshya Sabha at least. Neither the president, nor I, nor the government has any reason to look into her. We only have cause to be saddened. We are saddened when we think about that dark era of 11 years, because we were ministers then. Madam Chandrika's era ended in 2000. When we defeated Madam Chandrika's government for the first time in the history of Sri Lanka, our economic growth was at minus 1.4. That is the respect she has. We are sad to say that we were ministers in a government that had to say nothing happened when questions were posed to us.
Now speaking at a rally held in Ponadura yesterday, the Deputy Secretary of the Democratic Party, Anuma Fonseca, spoke emotionally. Party leader Sath Fonseca was also in attendance.
I have never spoken about the way in which this government exacts vengeance from our children. Only I know the hardships I underwent as a mother. It has been 4 years since our elder daughter was married. The government fell to the low level of shaking up her marriage, and to this day, my husband and I are saddened about the trouble that was caused to my daughter's marriage. I have not spoken about this until now. There's a reason that I'm saying this today. It has been 4 years since my daughter has been unable to see her husband. At the same time, when my younger daughter arrived in the island, we had to face numerous questions at the airport. She was interrogated by the CID. The primary cause for this was that he contested the presidential election. Is this democracy? Is this democracy? My daughter is still appealing to see her husband. We speak of a proud father, but the father does not understand the woes of the children. I say to all women here, do not fall into the situation that I have fallen into. We must initiate change before this occurs. I will take the floor in this matter.
The people do not have an alternative. There are two prominent parties, and when you have had enough of one, you must vote for the other. When you have had enough of them, you must again vote for the other side that you had enough of earlier. Politicians took advantage of the situation. In the short time that they were in power, they worked on a personal agenda and fulfilled their needs. This is the situation that prevailed in the past, and these prominent politicians wish to sustain this culture into the future. These prominent political parties wish to continue with this despicable political culture.
Let's now take a look at some of the views expressed on the election stage.
The United National Party and the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, instead of making the people victorious and ensuring people's livelihoods, are attempting to establish their government. Even if it means that factories must close, the people's lives must be destroyed and the country dragged into a pit. Our entire lives are based on reloads today. Isn't it true? When the doctor gives you a prescription for a month, you tell the girl at the pharmacy to please give you medicine only for 3 days. All the lights are put up, but they are lit on a reload. When you go to buy fish, you get a reload of 50 or 60 rupees. This is the case for us. But those in the government and the thieves, they have a full package. The leaders in the Janata Vimukti Peramuna at present have changed camps. They used to be in the leftist camp. Now they are in the opposing camp, the wealthy camp. They are now with the Barack Obamas and the David Camerons. They are with the money.
ජනාධිපතිතුමා හොරා යන්න කලින් මේ පළාත් සභා මුට්ටිය එන්නේ.
The provincial council till precedes the presidential election theft. Are they asking for power so they can establish the provincial council and develop the south? If that is the case, they need not ask for power again, seeing that they had power before.
මොකට එයි දෙන්නේ?
At times, they try to lead the people astray and engage in elections. This needs to change. This is harmful. Let's change this direction in Mathura. That is why I say bring the Chief Minister's position to Mathura.
When they had enough of the chair, they jumped to the beetle leaf. They switched jungles. Now they are asking for votes again. They are asking for power again to steal. They have already stolen from education, health, welfare, morals and culture.
My friends, you cannot do something in the provincial council without the strength of the government and the president. The president and the UPFA government will remain strong until 2016. Thereby, only a UPFA provincial council will receive the strength and blessings of this government.
There is no road for the economy. There is only thievery and corruption. At the last election, they distributed arak. They brought it, mixed it and distributed it. Ethanol enough to fill the Victoria Reservoir has been brought in from abroad. This government wants an intoxicated nation. That is what they are doing.
Do not lie like a bull in a china shop. Let us know your policies. The UNP that wants a united country cannot unite the party. The JVP is gradually receding into minus votes. How can these people seek power?
It is my hope to introduce a program through the provincial council to uplift the level of education of the children of poor parents, to provide professional training for the youth, to secure 10% employment for these youth at commercial companies in Colombo, and introduce a long-term program to uplift their standard of living. I wish to set a new example for politics and politicians.
In traditional politics, we always talk about the same thing. We talk about building roads, providing water and providing electricity. These things must be done. But our politicians must bring to the villagers a program that is suitable for the future of the children and the youth.
Staying in news from the election front, many candidates have been using flamboyant and appealing election campaigns for the upcoming Western and Southern Provincial Council elections. But now we are witnessing supporters showing their support in unusual ways.
This individual stayed afloat for 41 minutes with his feet tied in the lower Hanwella area in the Kalaniya River today. He said that this action was a tribute to Bharata Lakshman Premachandra and an act to hope for the victory of Hirunika Premachandra. Karunaratna Jayasinghe, who is a resident of Bandaragama, is an accomplished swimmer. Those who will bag high number of votes will get an opportunity to attain a seat in the provincial council. But what will supporters such as Karunaratna Jayasinghe gain from such display of support?
Dhanamuthu which is organized by Newsfirst and Eslon, commenced in Jaffna today. The Dhanamuthu will continue tomorrow as well at the Jaffna Central College.
The 8th phase of the Newsfirst Eslon Dhanamuthu commenced at 9 this morning. Governor of the Northern Province, Major General G.A. Chandrasiri, SSP of Jaffna W.P. Vimalasena, Commander of the 521st Brigade, as well as senior officials of the Capital Maharaja organization were present at this occasion.
And I am so happy that this organization today pioneered to come here and do this work for the people of Northern Province and also the people of Jaffna. As the Governor of Northern Province, I give my sincere thanks and appreciation to all of you, to this organization for coming here. Thank you very much.
The building a house in Sri Lankan context is a huge challenge. That house is not just another place that you get basic requirement to live. We need a home. That is the difference. When you want to build a home, that's a dream. It's not easily achievable. Everybody has few dreams in their lives. Good marriage, good home, good family life. Without a good home, all these things can get disturbed.
A number of construction projects in the northern province have tied up with Eslon. This program has identified and addressed a number of problems faced by the public. We would like to extend our gratitude to the Capital Maharaj organization and its media institutions on behalf of the school and the people of Jaffna.
Engineers, lawyers, government officials, bankers, plumbers, electricians and a number of other professionals from various fields, both from Jaffna and Colombo, took part in the program. An art competition for children under 15 years of age was held today and gifts and certificates were awarded to the winners. A special workshop on road safety was also held, which saw the participation of 400 drivers.
I would like to thank Newsfirst for organizing this program, where we learnt a number of things. We would like to extend our gratitude to these experts who taught the people of Jaffna on how we can construct buildings in a new manner.
Now, the latest batch of recruits to Newsfirst Citizen Journalism Initiative, U Report, took part in a workshop conducted in Colombo today.
The group that participated in the workshop held at the auditorium at the head office of the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited was selected from various districts across the island. Newsfirst resource personnel imparted their knowledge on news gathering, reporting and editing to the participants. The group was also educated on the news production process and were trained in practical skills.
The 10th leg of the Super Fighter program, Sri Lanka's first ever reality sports TV program, was worked off at the St. Joseph's College, Maradana today.
Super Fighter.
This reality program, which aims to unearth hidden boxing talents in Sri Lanka, is a joint initiative of MAS Holdings, Newsfirst and the MTV and MBC Media Network. The 10th round of trials commenced today with around 400 participants. A training camp was held for all boxers that attended the program in preparation for the Super Fighter trials that will be conducted tomorrow under 4 weight categories.
Super Fighter spitting fire in the ring.
Super Fighter.
And up next is Action TV.
Although the local government ordinance does not make provisions for controlling a person's bodily functions, on the 23rd of November last year, Action TV revealed that the Galgamuwa Pradeshia Sabha was involved in doing exactly that. The Pradeshia Sabha initiated this program by disconnecting the water supply to the Galgamuwa Divisional Education Office. The Divisional Education Office, which operates out of this building, constructed in 1992 on a plot of state land, supervises the functioning of 54 schools and 4 pirivenas. Action TV pointed out that in addition to disconnecting the water supply to this building, the Pradeshia Sabha had also built a legal complex blocking the entrance to the Divisional Education Office, claiming that the land belonged to the Pradeshia Sabha. Action TV pointed out that while the plot of land has been named Deulagahavatta in the government surveyor's maps, the Pradeshia Sabha was attempting to acquire the land on which the Divisional Education Office is located, claiming it under a separate name, Mailagahavatta. Against a backdrop where the Chief Minister of the Northwestern Province, who also overlooks the portfolios of education and local government, has shown little enthusiasm towards resolving this situation, the Pradeshia Sabha has now constructed toilet pits for the legal complex in the yard of the Divisional Education Office. Now, it could be that the Pradeshia Sabha has understood that the lawyers who paid for the building of the complex should also have sanitary facilities for their bodily functions. Regardless, the fact that the Pradeshia Sabha has gone to the extent of digging toilet pits in the yard of an important public institution strips bare the ugliness of political thuggery and intimidation. Following the first Action TV expose, the chairman of the Galgamuwa Pradeshia Sabha addressed a letter to the Chief Minister of the Northwestern Province requesting him to relocate the Divisional Education Office. His premise that the land on which the office is located belongs to the Pradeshia Sabha is based on fabrication rather than accepted fact. 2 years ago, the Divisional Secretary of Galgamuwa accepted in writing that this land belongs to the state and not the Galgamuwa Pradeshia Sabha. When considering a gazette notice issued in 1953, the Divisional Secretary's acceptance of this fact is not surprising. However, given the continuous requests of the Provincial Ministry of Education that this plot of state land be turned over to the Provincial Education Department, the Divisional Secretary is now observing a different procedure.
The education office has become a toilet pit for them. They must be led to believe that these preposterous actions are being undertaken by uneducated sections of the political authority who have never been to school.
Shouldn't the state's land laws be enforced in this matter to ensure that the employees at this office do not have similar suspicions of responsible public officials? Land Commissioner of the Northwestern Province, this is over to you.
One of the bus stop canopies in the Colombo municipality that have been the subject of much debate in the recent past was declared open today by Mayor of Colombo, AJM Muzammil.
The reconstructed bus stop canopy in Totalanga, Colombo was declared open today. A bus stop canopy that was constructed with funds from MP Ravi Karunanayaka's decentralized fund was demolished to make way for the new bus stop canopy. Speaking at the opening, Mayor of Colombo AJ Muzammil said that illegal constructions will not be allowed in the Colombo municipality.
The building and maintenance of bus stop canopies and earning revenue from them is the responsibility of the municipal council. If anyone else constructs bus stop canopies, it is illegal. MP Ravi Karunanayaka from our party had built a bus stop canopy here with funds from his decentralized fund. You cannot build bus stop canopies with money from the decentralized fund. There are several councillors in the Colombo Municipal Council and the Western Provincial Council. They cannot use the spaces of the Municipal Council to construct bus stop canopies and put up their pictures for political propaganda. If I permit this, I will have to permit all of them to do this. This step was not taken as a result of a personal grudge. The decentralized fund is the people's money. Imagine how much could be done for the people of Colombo North who are living in slums with this money.
However, bus stop canopies carrying the likenesses of politicians can still be witnessed in several locations in the Colombo city.
Dr. Venerable Haris Patwe Ariel Vansalankarathero, renowned for the contribution he made to the sustenance of the Dhamma, passed away today while receiving treatment at a private hospital in Colombo.
The mortal remains of the late Dr. Venerable Haris Patwe Ariel Vansalankarathero will lie at the Vipassana International Meditation Center on Vijayarama Mawatha in Colombo until noon tomorrow. Following religious observances, the remains will be entrusted to the Vikramarachi Ayurveda faculty in Yakala. In his last will and testament, the Venerable Thero had requested that his body not be interred in a casket and that any expenses on his funeral be used to construct a house for a poor family instead. The funeral committee said that the Thero's wishes will be adhered to.
Wife of Dr. Neelan Thiruchelvam, Siddhi Subanya Thiruchelvam, passed away while receiving treatment at a private hospital in Colombo today.
Siddhi Subanya Thiruchelvam was born on the 3rd of October 1944 and was a lawyer by profession. She was a mother of two and was 69 years old at the time of her demise. The wife of the renowned politician and intellectual Neelan Thiruchelvam, Siddhi Subanya Thiruchelvam, held positions in the board of directors of a number of leading organizations in Sri Lanka. She was the founder of the Neelan Thiruchelvam Foundation. Her husband was a lawyer and social worker who gained national and international recognition. Neelan Thiruchelvam was the victim of a suicide bomb blast that took place in 1999. The remains of Siddhi Subanya Thiruchelvam are currently lying at her residence at number 48, Rossmid Place, Colombo. The final rites will be observed at the Borala Cemetery at 11 a.m. tomorrow. The cortege is set to depart at 10:30 a.m.
On to sports news now. The Lions and the fans on the edge of their seats today as they sealed a 5-run win over the Proteas in their opening encounter of the ICC World T20 today.
Winning the toss at Chittagong today, Sri Lanka elected to bat first with Tilakaratne Deshan and Kusal Janith opening the batting. Deshan was undone without having made a contribution to the scorecard. Kusal Janith proceeded to anchor the innings as Sri Lanka experienced an all-too familiar top-order collapse with Mayali Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara being bundled out cheaply for 9 and 14 runs respectively. Kusal Janith went on to score a consummate 61 of 40 deliveries. His innings included 3 sixers and 4 boundaries. Incidentally, this was Kusal Janith's 5th half-century in T20 internationals. The South Africans got off to a strong start but were dealt a blow when Malinga took the scalp of Quentin de Kock on 25. JP Dumini put on 39 before he was dismissed. The Sri Lankan bowlers delivered under pressure, taking wickets at regular intervals in spite of the Proteas' ticking scorecard. The match eventually went down to the final over, with South Africa needing 15 runs to snatch victory away from the Lions. However, the Proteas only succeeded in scoring 9 and were restricted to 165 runs short of the Sri Lankan total. Sachitra Senanayake ended with 5 figures of 2 for 22, while Nuwan Kulasekara, Angelo Matthews, Ajantha Mendes and Lasith Malinga picked up a wicket each.
Staying in cricket news, St Thomas's College Mount Lavinia clinched victory of the annual one-day encounter against Royal College Colombo at the SSC grounds in Colombo today.
Batting first, Royal College Colombo were bowled out for 235 runs in 49 overs. G. Panditharatne and H. Samarisinghe opened the innings for the Royalists and put an opening stand of 53 runs. Captain for the Royal team, Chamika Karunaratne, was the top scorer for the team with 84 runs. G. Panditharatne and H. Ramanayaka chipped in with 36 and 23 runs. Batting in reply, St Thomas's College Mount Lavinia reached the target in 48.3 overs with 5 wickets to spare. Tharindra Ratnayaka top scored for the lads from Mount Lavinia with 70 runs, while Savitha Jayathilaka chipped in with 40.
Now clashes broke out at a big match encounter between two prominent schools in Galle that was played at the Galle International Stadium. Our reporter says that there was a pitch invasion when one of the teams was approaching victory. He added that clashes ensued following the pitch invasion. The police had to use tear gas to bring the situation under control. And that's a wrap of Weekend Primetime News for today. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandana. Good night.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.